Welcome to California Now, a podcast produced by Visit California. I'm Soterios Johnson. California's theme parks are open again, and this episode we'll be talking about 3 of them, starting with Universal Studios Hollywood.
The energy is just something that I haven't seen before because everybody's just ready to get out. And like I said, the employees especially, they're just happy to be back. It's a really positive time.
Next, we'll head to the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim to hear about some exciting new developments.
Seeing the faces, the excitement, you really understand how much it means to everyone.
And we'll visit LEGOLAND California Resort, a theme park you could easily spend multiple days exploring. That's all coming up on California Now. When you visit a place like Universal Studios Hollywood, the rides and attractions are designed to surpass anything you could imagine. My next guest's job is to dream up exactly those types of surprises, then make them a reality. John Corfino is Senior Director and Executive Producer at Universal Studios Hollywood. He's here to tell us what to look forward to on your next visit and also share insights about the park's reopening. Welcome to California Now, John.
Thanks so much. Pleasure to be here.
So, to start out, it sounds like you have a really cool job. Can you tell us a bit about what it's like, say, what a typical Tuesday is like for you?
I can try, but the best way to describe it is there's no typical. It's all, it's actually one of the great parts of my job is it's a new thing every day. We're in the business of working with some of the most talented people in the world to help bring all of these attractions to life and to kind of create these experiences and working with some fantastic filmmakers. And like I said, every day is different because we're always trying to do something different. We're always trying to raise the bar and evolve where we're going to go to. So it's a real exciting part of the job.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And just briefly, what's your background? How did you get that job?
It's not a story that makes a lot of sense. A long time ago, I actually started working in the park as a summer job, and my father was actually in the movie business, and I swore to never go anywhere close to the entertainment business. It shows you how well that worked out.
Right.
And then, it just kind of got into my blood, and I started working into other positions, and I worked into being a show guide there for a while, and then I ran entertainment, and then it kind of just evolved, and I ended up being involved with the team who put the first gate of Universal Studios Orlando together, and actually helped to build that, and it all kind of took off from there.
Wow, really exciting, really cool. So, I want to talk about some of the park's new attractions, but first, can we take a moment to go back in time to last March when COVID-19 hit? I mean, you had projects you had been working on, attractions you were excited to share with the world. What was it like to have everything shut down so abruptly?
It was shocking, quite frankly. I mean, nothing that any of us in the industry had ever seen before. And it's kind of ironic because the evolution of where we were last March was at that place where we're close to opening some of these new attractions, which means we're hosting executives from the studio and our IP partners from Illumination and the folks from the film group on Jurassic World, and we're just about ready to open up, and all of a sudden the doors just shut. And quite frankly, initially we all thought, okay, well, it's March, and surely by before summer, and then surely by 4th of July, and then, well, maybe by August. And it just kept on going. And I'll tell you, the strangest sensation is to walk through a theme park like Universal Studios Hollywood, where you're used to seeing thousands and thousands of people, and all of a sudden there's just nobody.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I hear that you have to still operate the rides even when the park is closed. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. There are a lot of requirements, but we tend to, for safety purposes, but we actually do a really fantastic job of exceeding those. And you don't, it's like if you had a swimming pool and you shut off your pool filter for a year and then you turned it back on, it would probably have seized up. So you'd never do that with a ride. You'd operate it, but you really have to operate everything. You have to operate the ride systems, the animated figures. You're working on trams, so you still need to keep things in shape and ready to go because it's a vital part of how things will come up out of this dormant period. So there was a crew that was dedicated to basically keeping us at that level.
Right. And so you have this empty park for a year and you have the rides going and there's no one there. It must have felt very surreal at some point.
Very surreal. I mean, and to be clear, it's not like they're running all the time, but just like to be in there and have you're having to keep things moving on a little bit. And again, just nobody. It's almost like a bad Twilight Zone episode. It's really it's very surreal.
So now that people are coming back to Universal Studios Hollywood, how does that feel? I mean, what's it like to see smiling families enjoying your handiwork?
It is everything that we are in this business to experience, quite frankly, because our the real joy is in seeing those reactions to folks, seeing it for the first time, much less being gone for a year from the theme park business in its entirety from Southern California anyway, and then come back. So it's absolutely been really really terrific, and the energy is just it's something that I haven't seen before because everybody's just ready to get out and like I said, the employees especially, they're just happy to be back, and it's a really positive time.
So let's talk about some of the new attractions that you've been waiting for guests to experience. Why don't we start with The Secret Life of Pets? What's the idea behind that ride?
Well, the Secret Life of Pets off the leash is kind of bringing to life this fantastic um, brand and franchise from our partners at Illumination. And we've all seen the films, and the premise behind the films was really okay. Well, gee, what are our pets really doing when we're not there? And so we get a glimpse behind our doors when we're not at home. And so you take a look at all those rich characters and the adventures they get into. And in our case, what we want to do is really dimensionalize that experience. And so you think to yourself, how do you do that? And in our case, what we wanted to do was really come up with a fantastic storyline. And a big part of that, because in The Secret Life of Pets, the humans are there, but they're kind of in the background. So we created the story that you are actually, from the moment you enter into Katie's apartment, that beautiful, iconic red brick apartment, you are recognized as a lost puppy without a collar on. And every one of the characters throughout the queue line, and some of them are physical animated characters, there's some media, but they're all interacting with you as if you are this lost puppy. And then the storyline begins to build, and it's like, well, Snowball will know what to do because he's always got great ideas. And so we run into Snowball, and he says, "Oh, you're lost puppies. Hey, I got it. I know there's an adoption fair happening today, and we're going to get you across town." And so we go on this adventure, and so you end up going into the ride, and you start thinking to yourself, okay, well, how do I normally see lost puppies? Well, they're usually in cardboard boxes, somewhere where somebody's trying to sell them to you or whatever else. So the ride vehicle is a cardboard box, and you're taking off down, and you're going to go on this adventure through a lot of the areas that you may recognize from the films, and some areas where you don't. And we also added this really fantastic technology that we're very proud of that we came up with ourselves inside the company of this gesture tracking technology where it's basically you go by a window and you see yourself on TV, but you see yourself as a pet.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
it reinforces constantly that you are this pet, and then of course the other characters are reinforcing that you are, and then you have this experience with this gesture tracking a couple of different times throughout the experience, and it's really great because it's such a rich environment. There's 64 animated figures. There's just a ton of fantastic Easter eggs. We really got the opportunity to play with a lot of interesting technology in a different kind of way that made it very immersive, from video mapping and other types of um, I'll say illusions or physical experiences
Hmm.
that are different from what people may have expected before. In terms of it's not a simulation film, it's not a media based attraction, but you're actually in this environment, and that's part of the whole emotional heartstring connection with these great characters from the film, which culminates, of course, in the best day of a pet's life, and quite frankly, one of the best days of a person's life is you find your own forever family and you're adopted and taken home. And that's kind of the culmination of the whole ride. So
Right.
it's really a very heartfelt, emotional connecting experience. And it also kind of complements the entire area of that park where now we have Despicable Me, we have Super Silly Funland with the water play area, and then now we have Secret Life of Pets off the leash, which kind of rounds out this whole neighborhood of Illumination products and films that we can enjoy. And it's a great place for the family to be, which I think is something that was a great addition to the park.
Right. And I mean, these experiences you're talking about, especially the new one, Secret Life of Pets, I mean, they sound so, incredibly immersive, like you're almost expanding or maybe exploding consumer expectations. Is that the way you see it?
Well, it's certainly our intent to try to do that. I mean, the great part about these characters, and again, Illumination is just so, I mean, they're famous for these fantastically rich, storylines that if you were to go through this experience, there's a kind of a backstory behind each one of the characters. And, there's almost no way you can see all the characters at one time. And they don't just do these repeating things, they do a series of activities. So, you really get a chance to experience it, a couple different ways each time you see it. So, we definitely tried to push it to the next level. It's a type of an attraction we really haven't done a lot of before, but we just had such a great time, pulling this together, and we couldn't be more thrilled with the response that we're getting so far.
Oh, I can imagine. There's also something fresh for fans of dinosaurs in Jurassic World, right? Tell us about that one.
Oh yeah, Jurassic World is a fantastic experience. As you mentioned, we had a little bit of extra time to pull it together, and it's always our intent, like, as I said earlier, to elevate and you know evolve and raise the bar. And we have a brand new addition to our Jurassic World, and that is the Indominus Rex, which is a very very large dinosaur. And when we first started thinking about the attraction, and when you say the words Jurassic World, that is a big statement. And so you really have to say, go big or go home. How do you
Right.
really, achieve that? And so, we're very pleased with the Mosasaurus underwater aquarium that actually it creates this illusion that you've got this creature that's 65 feet long swimming all around you. But to have the Indominus Rex now, basically in that final chapter of the experience, you know, appear to walk at you, and she's towering over your head, and she comes down and lunges at you, and then she
Hmm.
turns. She is massively huge, and to see something that big move that quickly is something that I certainly haven't seen before. So we're really excited about that, and really excited to share that with our visitors.
Do you ever get a chance to see how people are reacting to it?
Oh yeah, we actually have some people who are, well, I'll say, pretty deep disciples of the Jurassic ethos, and it was really one of the most rewarding parts to kind of sit back a little bit and see the first few vehicles come down and just see the reaction of people, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's great, next level!" It was just, and to hear that is very gratifying for the entire team.
That is very cool. So before we wrap up, to be thorough, let's cover what's different now that the park has reopened in the interest of keeping folks safe. So, what precautions can I expect?
Well, we this is something we take extremely seriously, and I just have to kind of do a little bit of a shout out to our operational partners. I mean, everybody from food service and entertainment, and everybody at the park who supports this new world and reality that we live in. So there is a whole lot of, we have our social distancing where we're pacing people at a certain pace through queue lines, at a certain pace through attractions, or in food. Everything is wiped down between every single ride. You have to sanitize your hands before you even get on a ride. We have the barriers, protective barriers between any point of sale cash register and if you're going in by retail. So, everything that you think you're experiencing out normally in the world now, we actually try to go beyond that because we take this very seriously. And there's nothing more important to us than the safety of our guests.
So it sounds like, while I'm on a ride along with other people, we might all be screaming, but from a safe distance, not necessarily, elbow to elbow.
Oh no, absolutely. In fact, if you were to ride Jurassic World as an example, if you're from the same household, maybe you're in the same row, but you're not going to be there's nobody going to be in front of you in a row. We work very carefully with, the state and other agencies to determine the best and safest way to operate all of our attractions.
That's great. All right. So one last thing, for folks that have been dreaming for so long of getting back to Universal Studios Hollywood and wondering when's the right time to go, what do you want to tell them?
I want to tell them come up right now because it's. I mean, we're we're open, and everything is up and operating for the most part right now. I mean, one of our shows, I think the special effects stage is not open currently right now, but everything else is open. Restaurants are open, and like I said, it's a great time to come. So please come on up.
That sounds great. So great to hear that. John, this has really been a really fun conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on California Now.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
John Corfino is Senior Director and Executive Producer at Universal Studios Hollywood. As always, we'll have links to all the places we talked about on today's episode and lots more on our website, visitcalifornia.com/podcast. This is California Now. I happen to be a history buff, and one phenomenal place you can go to explore the past is California's beautiful Gold Country. This part of the state is perfect for an amazing American road trip down Highway 49. The highway is numbered for the 49ers, the wave of people who rushed to the area to search for gold in 1849, and it cuts a 300-mile arc through the mountains east of Sacramento. And you can combine Gold Rush history and small, authentic American West towns with majestic scenery and a sensational culinary scene. There are one-of-a-kind restaurants and microbreweries and over 200 wineries. Plus, it's a paradise for outdoor adventurers. The possibilities range from hiking and biking to skiing and snowboarding to even whitewater rafting and caving. To get started on your amazing American road trip, go to visitgoldcountry.com and click on the About tab to find a terrific map that will help you plan your getaway. That's visitgoldcountry.com. No episode about theme parks reopening in California would be complete without a nod to the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim. We have two guests here to tell us what you can expect when you go to catch up with Mickey and the gang. First, let's introduce Rafa Barron as an ambassador at the Disneyland Resort. He's one of the smiling faces who might help you get your bearings while you're there. Welcome to California Now, Rafa.
Thank you, Soterios. Thank you for having me.
And we also have Kiki Yee, a Plan Disney panelist based in Sacramento who specializes in the Disneyland Resort. If you're planning a trip and have questions, she might be the one to respond online and get you a personalized answer. Welcome to California Now, Kiki.
Thank you, Soterios. Great to be here.
Rafa, let's start with you. What exactly is a Disney ambassador?
Sure. So as a Disneyland ambassador, I get to represent all the cast members that work at the resort and also the resort itself. So that's the two theme parks, Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure Park, the Downtown Disney District, and the 3 hotels. So I represent the resort everywhere I go, either the community events and media events. And let me tell you, it's super, super fun job.
Do you actually get to interact with the guests?
I do. I get to interact with the guests. And honestly, that's one of my favorite things to do because once you are in Disneyland and you see the guests there, it's, seeing their smiley faces, for example, seeing the kids dressed up. And for me, it's one of my favorite things to do. So
I'm sure. Yeah. And, Disneyland Resort is such an iconic institution. During the pandemic, it must have been really hard to imagine the gates closed.
It's true. For me, as a kid going to Disneyland, often and just not seeing the park open was a little bit hard. It was a very, very emotional, to be honest. But I think the emotional connection that the park has and with the guests, it's very, very strong. And it was a little bit difficult, but the gates are open now, and we are super, super excited to welcome everyone back.
Absolutely, that's right. The resort reopened on April 30th, which is really great. How did that first weekend unfold?
Let me tell you, Stereos, it was so much fun and very, very emotional. I was very lucky to be there when the gates opened for the guests the first time. And it was, goosebumps all over because seeing the faces, the excitement, and you really understand how much it means to everyone. Being at the Disneyland is just such a magical place, and it brings really so much magic and great memories for everyone. And been looking at everyone coming in, going through the gates, walking on Main Street, seeing their faces. People were crying of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm never forget it. I can definitely say it's one of my biggest memories in my life so far.
Oh, I totally believe that, especially after the year that everyone's had. I mean, just to be able to go back and have an experience like, a fun experience at Disneyland. But of course, everybody's also focused on safety these days. So can you tell us a little bit about the health and safety protocols going on right now at the resort?
Of course, yeah. For us at Disneyland, safety it's a priority. The safety of our guests and the safety of our cast members as well too. And we take that very, very seriously. So we follow very closely all the guidelines that the authorities are giving currently. And we have plenty of hand washing stations. We have antibacterial gel station, and obviously, you have to wear a mask when you visit our resorts. We practice, physical distancing, but at the same time, our guests, will be able to say hello to Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Pluto, and all their favorite characters too, all around the park. So, we take that all very, very seriously because we want to make sure everyone has a very fun and safe time at the resort.
Right. It's great that all of those precautions are in place. What about capacity at this point? Where are we as far as the percentage of, people that you can let in as far as your maximum capacity?
Sure. So right now we are doing limited capacity, and thanks to that, it's a good way to keep physical distancing, and gives a little bit more room for everyone to feel more spread out and keep with all those guidelines.
So, Kiki, let's turn to you now. What exactly is Plan Disney, and what's your role in it?
So, here at Plan Disney, we're real guests who answer guest questions about Disney vacations. I'm a Disneyland Resort specialist, but we also have panelists answering questions regarding Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, and Disney Vacation Club as well. And we also answer in 4 languages: English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese.
Oh, that's really great. So, why don't we start with? Let me ask you some questions. What do we need to know about buying tickets to the resort right now? With COVID and everything, what's the process like?
So, right now, when you have to buy park tickets, you also need to make a park reservation for a specific day when you want to visit. You can go on to the Disneyland website or on your Disneyland mobile app, and you can select the number of days you want to visit and also pick the day that you would like to visit for your park reservation. Now you need both a valid ticket and a park reservation for the specific day you want to visit. And then easy peasy, you'll be on your way to the Disneyland Resort theme parks.
Right. And so these are tickets for the entire day. You're not like reserving a time slot or anything like that.
No, and as a matter of fact, I recommend choosing the park hopper option. So with the park hopper option, you can go between both parks. And the park hopper option, you enter the first park, and after 1 p.m., you can hop to the next park.
Right, right. So what about hotels? What should I know on that end of things?
Well, I'm glad you asked. The Disneyland Resort has 3 on-site hotels: the Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, Disneyland Hotel, and Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel.
That's really great because being so close to the parks, you're not, wasting time on getting to and from the park. You're really right there. So you can really, spend the time doing the activities you want to do instead of trying to just get to the park.
Absolutely. Who wants to walk all the way back to their hotel, like
Right.
blocks and blocks away, when you can just literally just take a few steps and you're back in your hotel room in the comfort? And it's easy to unwind in the afternoon too. So if you have little ones, it's a great place to just unwind, go to the pools, take a nap, and then later on visit the park once everybody's all refreshed.
Right, right, exactly. Okay, so and there's also this Disneyland app, right? So what can I use that for?
I call it the handy dandy tool. It's the handy dandy mouse tool. Right now, you can look at attraction wait times. You can view menus. So if you're craving for something and you just want to check out the menu, it's there for you. And also, you can do mobile ordering for food and beverages. So that way, you don't have to stand in line. You can just order ahead of time. It gives you a time frame of when your food will be ready. Just head to the window, click on this button that says "I'm here," and your food will be ready for you shortly.
So Kiki, when you go to the park with your family, what are you and your kids most excited about?
So my kids are actually much older. My daughter is 19 and my son is 14, and they've been going to Disneyland Resort theme parks since they were little. And my favorite thing is revisiting the same attractions that they enjoyed as a little kid,
Hmm.
and even until now too. Some of our favorite ones, as silly as it is it's the Winnie the Pooh ride in the Winnie the Pooh in the Hundred Acre Woods. It's so silly, but that is the one thing we absolutely have to go on. It's like a little inside joke for us, and it's still carried with us over the decades, really.
Well, it's nice to know that, even with all of the new stuff, that some of the classics are still there that people can still go to and have that tradition, right?
Absolutely. And just I can't wait to go back and stroll down Main Street, USA. It is just so iconic. It is nostalgic. It is the same path that Walt Disney walked on. And I just love gazing into his apartment and seeing the light. That is something I am absolutely looking forward to when I return to the Disneyland Resort theme parks.
So he had an apartment right there on the park that he actually lived there?
It is above the fire station on Main Street.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, and then there's a light still burning, right?
You'll see a light that is always on to indicate that Walt Disney is there.
His spirit is there. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
Rafa, this might be more of a question for you. What are some of the most popular attractions and lands to experience at Disneyland?
Sure. So at Disneyland right now, what I would definitely suggest to everyone to experience is the reimagined attraction Snow White's Enchanted Wish. So what happened? This attraction got reimagined, and then Snow White gets her finally happily ever after ending. So it's super super fun, super super amazing attraction, very very cute, and I definitely suggest that you go and experience it
So this
when
is
you are.
more than just a refresh. This is a total reimagining of it.
Exactly. You said it perfectly. It's a reimagined attraction. I don't want to give too much away, but when you go there, you're gonna come like, oh, this is amazing. It's so beautiful. The technology, the storyline. It's really really nice. And some other attractions as well too that got refurbished. For example, King Arthur's Carousel, Haunted Mansion got beautiful landscapes outside the attraction, and obviously for everyone who's a huge Star Wars fan, you must visit Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that is located at Disneyland Park. It takes you to this adventure to Batu that once you step your foot in there, you're going to be totally blown away and transported to another world. So
Oh, that
for
sounds
all of
amazing.
you Star Wars fans, I highly recommend that you visit that park.
Definitely, yes, that's on my list to do. Definitely.
There you go.
There's a tremendous amount of buzz about Avengers Campus, which is scheduled to open on June 4th. What can you share about that?
Of course, look, Soterios, I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of the Avengers, and I'm super, super excited about Avengers Campus. That it's a new six-acre land that is completely dedicated to training, recruiting, and discovering the next generation of superheroes. This area is located at Disney California Adventure Park. And the coolest thing about this Avengers Campus is that all the guests will be able to team up with the Avengers and their allies, right? And some of the things that you are going to be able to see there, you're going to be able to see Spider-Man swinging into action high above Avengers Campus. It's going to be
Hmm.
doing some acrobatic features that have never seen before in a Disney park. So it's going to be really, really cool, especially because it's a fully immersive land, and our guests are going to be able to live out their superhero dreams. So I can't wait. It's going to be
So
so
that
much fun.
Spider-Man thing, is that what's called Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure? That's part of Avengers Campus?
Yeah, so Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, it's an attraction. So that's the attraction, and the Spider-Man that you're going to be able to see swinging above Avengers Campus, it's totally different.
Oh, okay.
So just to answer your question about Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, this is an attraction based on Spider-Man. But I don't want to give away too much about what the attraction is, so I'm going to give you like a little general overview, to give the surprise factor for everyone.
Okay, yeah. No spoilers, no spoilers.
Exactly. Yes. No spoilers. No spoilers. But just enough to tease everyone to take a look at it. So this attraction is it's based on the World Engineering Brigade, known as WEB, right? And the coolest part about this attraction is that Tom Holland reprises his role as Spider-Man. So in the attraction, you're going to be able to see, Peter Parker, Peter Parker is going to be inviting you to test, some latest innovations that are going on web, and specifically, he's going to be inviting you to ride the Web Slinger vehicle. And for me, mean, what can I tell you? Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. So being there and actually have the opportunity to shoot virtual webs from your wrists and making those
Oh,
gestures, the classic gestures that Spider-Man
right,
does,
right.
it's just unbelievable. It's
That sounds. You
really
don't have to get bitten by a radioactive spider to do that, do you?
exactly no need of getting beaten or anything. You just have to, start moving your hands all around, and it's really cool because the technology it's capturing all those natural motions that you're doing. The only thing that you're gonna have to wear is your 3D glasses and start shooting away. And like I said, as a big Spider-Man fan, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is like a dream come true. So
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like any Spider-Man fan definitely needs to go to Web Slingers.
oh, for sure. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away because you really have to experience it. But once you're there, you're gonna be like, oh, it's a dream for everyone who's like a huge Spider-Man fan.
Oh, that is amazing.
It's
And so what sort of superheroes or villains might guests see?
You know what? Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Avengers, and I can't wait. You're gonna be able to see Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's gonna be Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Thor,
Hmm.
and the coolest thing about this is you're gonna be able to see the Dora Milaje characters. Those are the Black Panther's loyal bodyguards.
Okay.
And just so you know, Ant-Man and the Wasp appear for the first time at the Disneyland Resort. So it's going to be great. You're going to be able to see all your heroes there, and you're going to be feeling that you are part of the story as well, too. So I can't
Uh,
wait for all the guests to experience it.
yeah, no, it sounds like a lot of fun. Wrapping up, is there anything else we should know about? I mean, Kiki, anything else you want to share with Disney enthusiasts who are listening right now?
If you're looking for any tips or advice, please come over and visit us at plandisney.com, and you can also find great information with this new phase reopening and all the new policies and changes happening and you can easily do that on disneyland.com as well.
Well, Rafa, Kiki, this has really been great. It's also so great that things are beginning to open up again in a safe manner. Thank you so much for joining us on California Now.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I will look forward to see you at the Disneyland Resort.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Rafa Barron is a Disney ambassador for the Disneyland Resort, and Kiki Yee is a Plan Disney panelist specializing in the resort. You can find lots more at Disneyland.com and get help planning via PlanDisney.com. As always, we'll have links to all the places we talked about on today's episode and lots more on our website, visitcalifornia.com/podcast. This is California Now. 2 years ago on this show, I interviewed a Legoland master builder who told me people thinking of Legoland as a kids-only place stand to miss out on a lot of fun. Well, here to update us on all that's new at Legoland California, from the new safeguards since the park reopened to brand new rides and attractions, is Dominic Ashford, head of resort experience. Welcome to California Now, Dominic.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
So let's start out with your title, head of resort experience. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I have the privilege here at LEGOLAND California Resort, I guess, to be the voice of the guest. So my role, in addition to overseeing some operational elements, so running our hotel and our welcome operation and our entertainment operation, I'm also in charge of making sure that all the great guest feedback, everything that our guests want to tell us about the experience here is passed on to the rest of our management team. And we implement all the amazing ideas that our guests give us, and ultimately, we're in the game of delivering memorable experiences. So it's my job to make sure our guests have just that memorable experience here at the resort.
It sounds like it could be a lot of fun. I mean, if you get some feedback on something, you're like, well, maybe I should go experience that so I can see what they're talking about. I mean, what's a day in the life for you like?
So a day in the life here. So as I said, my job is to see, live the guest journey. So I make sure that I'm out in the resort, in the park, in the hotel, the water park, and the aquarium as much as I can be. I get the great job of riding the rides, tasting the food, speaking with our guests, and really learning about what they think about us here as a resort. I'm really fortunate to be in such a great position, and it's definitely fun every day here.
Yeah, that's great. So now the resort, which is located in Carlsbad in North San Diego County, is fully operational again, right? So what do listeners need to know on that front?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been working extremely hard for over a year to make sure that we've got the most rigorous plan in place. So I definitely, first of all, if there are any guests wondering what we're doing or have any questions, download our Legoland California app, and also check out legoland.com/California to check out our Safe to Play guide. And that will have all the specifics of why we are safe to play. But just to touch on some of the specifics. So we are asking our guests to wear masks, so anyone 2 and up, and that's for the safety of our guests and our staff, our model citizens. As you scan your tickets, you're going to be asked to take part in a temperature check. And in addition to that, we're taking social distancing very, very seriously. So, there's going to be extra room in our queue lines, in our shops and our restaurants to make sure everyone feels as safe as possible. And our app offers a great resource for our guests. So whether it's buying tickets, looking at show times, checking out our wait times, or seeing what restaurant one of our great restaurants you'd like to visit inside the resort, the app has something for everyone.
I saw on your Instagram feed that the Lego Movie World area is now operational. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, definitely. So we're so excited. This is going to be our biggest and best addition to Legoland California Resort, and that's in Legoland California Resort's history. So Lego Movie World opens to the public on Thursday, May 27th. So I need to get that plug in there. But really, we're transporting our guests into the middle of the Lego Movie universe. And for those guests out there who are fans of the Lego Movie and the Lego Movie 2, Bricksburg is the center of that Lego Movie universe, and our new land is going to allow guests to be transported into Bricksburg. And we've got a number of different brand new, amazing rides, attractions, and entertainment offerings within the Lego Movie World.
What exactly is it like? What is the experience like? Is it a virtual experience? Is it a real world experience?
Yeah, so within this immersive land, we've got some new rides. So in addition to one of our brand new carousel and our Unikitty's Disco Drop, we've probably got our hero attraction, which is called Emmett's Flying Adventure. And I was lucky enough to take a ride on Emmett's Flying Adventure a couple of days ago. And, my expectations were pretty high, but I must say that the experience even wowed me more than I could ever imagine. I don't want to give too much away, but Emmett's Flying Adventure, families are going to be able to take a ride on Emmett's couch, and it's an indoor flying theatre experience. So you're going to be sitting on Emmett's couch, flying around Bricksburg, and maybe some of the Lego Movie's most famous characters are going to be joining. I should also touch on Queen Whatever's carousel. So we are going to be launching that as part of Lego Movie World, and we're also going to be offering the chance for our guests to meet their favorite Lego Movie characters in Emmett's Super Suite. So they can meet Emmett and his friends and get a picture with our Lego Movie World characters and have that to take away as a memory as well.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, did you get a chance to try out all the new rides before opening day, like just to make sure that they're fun enough?
Yeah. I mean, our staff have had the great opportunity to ride. Of course, they're training to operate our brand new attractions. So all our team get the chance to take a sneak peek. I've been fortunate enough to ride Emmett's Flying Adventure, and I can promise everyone it's going to be a great experience.
So what else is new at the park?
Lego Movie World is really our brand new offering for 2021. But I mean, really, everything's new again. We've been closed a year, so we've had the opportunity to refresh a lot of our resort, make sure it's looking amazing for our guests. Our hotel is probably one of the more popular elements of our resort. We have 2 hotels here at Legoland. We have our Legoland Hotel, where you can stay in themed rooms like Ninjago, and be an adventurer in one of our adventurer rooms. And then we've got our Castle Hotel, our newer hotel, and you get the chance to be a wizard be a princess, and really be immersed in that whole castle theme. But our hotels are also booking right now, so if you do wish to stay with us for more than one day, I did mention we're a resort destination, so we encourage guests to stay here for 2 or 3 days to really maximize their experience, especially with the aquarium and the water park. So check out all our hotel offerings at legoland.com and also on our app.
So Dominic, before we wrap up, is there anything else you want people to know about Legoland California now that it's reopened?
Yeah, I think the main things we've got coming up is Lego Movie World is going to be opening May 27th. We're super excited. It's going to be the biggest and best land that we've ever opened here. So make sure you get your tickets, download the app. It's going to be a busy summer here. We're really excited to welcome all our guests back under a safe environment here. We've got all those safety procedures that I mentioned before. We're super excited. We're so grateful to be open again and welcome back all our guests. We've missed our guests as much as they've missed us. I can promise you that. But Lego Movie World is going to be amazing, and we can't wait to share it with all our guests and have an awesome summer 2021.
Dominic, this has been so great. Thank you so much for joining us on California Now.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Dominic Ashford is head of resort experience at Legoland California, online at legoland.com/California. As always, we'll have links to all the places we talked about on today's episode and lots more on our website, visitcalifornia.com/podcast. This is California Now. Thank you for listening to California Now. We hope you enjoyed this episode and get a chance to hit the road soon. This podcast is produced by Visit California. I'm your host, Soterios Johnson. You can find our show on iTunes and Stitcher. Please subscribe, and please check our website for the latest in the way of state travel advisories. It's visitcalifornia.com.